In this video, we are going to cover a detailed summary of Shakespeare's intense tragedy, exploring its storyline, characters, and emotional depth in simple narrative form. So let's start. The story of Othello begins in the vibrant, multicultural city of Venice, where a respected general of Moorish origin has risen to great prominence. His military achievements have earned him admiration, authority, and trust, allowing him to become an essential figure in the Venetian state. Despite being an outsider by race and birthplace, Othello's dignity, composure, and skill have secured him a high position and deep respect. But this success also makes him a target of quiet resentment, especially from one man who hides his hatred behind a mask of loyalty. That man is Iago, Othello's standard-bearer, a soldier who outwardly appears committed and dependable but secretly harbors bitterness. Iago believes he deserved a promotion that instead went to a younger and more educated officer, because this perceived injustice grows into a burning resentment, pushing Iago to create a plan that will turn Othello's strength into weakness, his calm judgment into destructive fury. Iago's motives are dark and tangled: envy, ambition, racism, and subtle hatred, all feeding into a desire to ruin Othello completely. Meanwhile, Othello has recently married Desdemona, a young Venetian woman of noble birth. Their love grows from admiration and storytelling. Othello's dramatic tales of battles, travels, and hardships captured Desdemona's imagination and heart. Their marriage is a union of affection, mutual respect, and emotional connection, but it is also a shock to many in Venice. Some cannot accept the idea that a noble woman has chosen a foreign general as her husband. This tension becomes fertile ground for Iago's manipulation. When the Venetian government receives news of a possible attack on Cyprus by the Turks, Othello is ordered to lead the defense. Desdemona insists on accompanying him, and they travel with their retinue, which includes Cassio and Iago. Once they arrive, news arrives that the Turkish fleet has been destroyed by a storm, leaving the island safe, with no immediate threat and the soldiers at ease. Personal matters begin to replace military concerns, giving Iago the perfect environment to begin his scheme. Iago starts by taking advantage of Cassio's courteous and gentle nature. Cassio is polite, respectful, and well-mannered, especially toward Iago observes this and sees the path to destroy both men with a single plan. He encourages Cassio to drink more than he can handle, knowing that Cassio's low tolerance will lead to trouble. As expected, Cassio becomes drunk and loses control during a scuffle. His behavior is unworthy of an officer, and Othello, valuing discipline, removes Cassio from his position. Cassio is devastated, feeling that his honor and career are shattered. But this is exactly what Iago wants. He approaches Cassio and gently suggests that he seek Desdemona's help, predicting that Othello will listen to her. Cassio, innocent and hopeful, follows the advice. He speaks privately with Desdemona, pleading for his support. Desdemona, kind-hearted and eager to restore harmony, agrees to help him regain his position. She repeatedly approaches Othello, asking him to reconsider Cassio's dismissal. Iago watches these moments closely, taking note of every meeting, every gesture, every expression. Then, like a master storyteller of lies, he begins feeding small hints of doubt into Othello's mind. He does not accuse anyone directly. Instead, he plants suggestions, questions, and subtle remarks that sharpen Othello's awareness. Slowly, Othello starts noticing Cassio's presence, Desdemona's requests, and the timing of their interactions in a new, distorted way. The seed of jealousy begins to grow. Iago then intensifies his plan with a calculated move involving Desdemona's handkerchief, a cherished token from Othello, symbolic of love and devotion. Othello had given it to Desdemona as a meaningful gift, and she treasured it deeply. One day, Desdemona accidentally drops it. Emilia, Iago's wife, finds it and gives it to her husband, unaware of his intentions. Iago uses this handkerchief as the proof he needs, placing it in Cassio's lodging, where Cassio discovers it, but has no idea of its significance. Cassio gives it to a woman he knows, thinking it is a random piece of cloth. When Iago tells Othello that he has seen the handkerchief in Cassio's possession, Othello's doubt explodes into certainty. Jealousy, once a quiet whisper, becomes a violent storm inside him. His clear thinking, disciplined nature, and deep love for Desdemona, are swallowed by suspicion and fury. Iago continues to feed him false images, false stories, and false interpretations, until Othello is convinced that Desdemona has betrayed him. Desdemona, meanwhile, is confused and heartbroken by Othello's sudden change in behavior. She senses his anger but does not understand its cause. Her attempts to soothe him only increase his agitation. Othello grows cold and distant, tormented by visions created entirely by Iago's manipulation. His identity as a noble leader collapses, replaced by the identity of a man consumed by jealousy. Driven by these emotions, Othello decides that Desdemona must be punished. Iago, pretending loyalty, encourages this belief, weaving more lies and ensuring no one interrupts the path of destruction. Othello's inner turmoil becomes unbearable, and he resolves to confront Desdemona directly. That night, in their private chamber, Othello acts on his rage. Desdemona, unaware of the full reason behind his anger, tries to explain her innocence. But Othello's mind is too clouded by Iago's poison. In a tragic eruption of violence, Othello takes her life, believing he is carrying out justice. Almost immediately after, Emilia enters and discovers what has happened. In her grief and shock, she reveals the truth. Desdemona was innocent. Iago manipulated everything, and the handkerchief was planted. The realization shatters Othello completely. The weight of his mistake crushes him, and he sees the full scope of Iago's deception. The authorities arrest Iago, who remains defiant and silent about his motives. Othello, overwhelmed by remorse and unable to live with the consequences of his actions, takes his own life beside Desdemona. His fall is complete, tragic, and irreversible. A powerful example of how trust twisted into jealousy can destroy even the strongest of individuals. The story ends with order restored to Cyprus, Iago facing punishment, and the tragic consequences of manipulation and unchecked emotion left behind is a stark message about human frailty.